This boy is so pathetic. He was walking in the airport. A glass sign fell over his head. The boy falls to the ground. The boy's mother heard the noise and rushed over. She found the glass had cut the boy's carotid artery. Passers-by call for an ambulance, but everyone knew the boy wouldn't be able to wait for an ambulance in this situation. Luckily, there was a surgeon among the passers-by. The surgeon found a clean cloth. He covered the wound, which was bleeding profusely, but that's when
You're killing him.
everyone looked at the man. The doctor said I was trying to stop the bleeding, okay? But
You have it in the wrong place.
of course the doctor knew exactly where the carotid artery was, but the man said,
You would be in the right place if he were an adult. He's not an adult, he is a boy, which means you're also putting pressure on his trachea, which means he's not currently breathing.
Doctor obeyed the man and moved his hand up a little, and sure enough, Doctor asked the man who he really was. It turns out the man is a talented doctor. His name is Jack. He has a very good memory and a very good spatial thinking ability. He is also an autistic person. That's when Jack saw a dilated vein in the boy's left arm. He asks the crowd for a knife, but it's an airport. No one could have a knife. So Jack turns around and leaves. What was he going to do? Turns out he was going to ask security for a knife. People's lives are at stake. But the security officer doesn't see a hint of urgency on Jack's face. He says to the security officer,
That one right near the top looks very sharp. Would you get it for me?
The security officer doesn't give it to him. Jack then grabbed a knife and turned to run. He ended up being tackled to the ground by the security officer. Luckily, the boy's mother appeared just in time to explain the situation. But what exactly was Jack doing with the knife? This man is the best doctor I've ever seen. Jack spilled a bottle of wine on the boy's body to disinfect him. Then he used another bottle of wine to create a one-way valve. Finally, he found the right spot between the boy's ribs and stabbed it in. He then inserted the straw at the end of the one-way valve into the boy's body. At this point, something strange happened. Bubbles continued to form in the bottle. The crowd was stunned. What was going on here? It turned out that Jack had determined from the dilated veins that the boy had a tension pneumothorax. Stop. Here's a little explanation. Tension pneumothorax is caused by a tear in the lung. This causes air to enter the pleural cavity around the lung. This prevents the air from returning to the lungs. The boy is then unable to breathe. Jack releases the air from the pleural cavity. At this point, the boy's mother hugged Jack with excitement. There was applause from around the room. The boy was saved. The boy was successfully taken to the ambulance. But that's when Jack noticed that something was wrong with the boy's ECG. Arriving at the hospital, the boy was taken to the emergency room. Jack screamed that he had to get an echocardiogram, but the female trainee doctor didn't give a damn and blew them out of the room. Jack tried to enter the hospital through other side doors, but he was stopped by security. He was anxious as an ant on a hot pan, because he knew the boy's life was in danger. And sure enough, in the operating room on the other side, the attending surgeon was halfway through the operation. The boy's blood pressure suddenly dropped dramatically. That's when the trainee doctor remembered Jack's words. She rushed to Jack with the attending. She asked Jack why he had asked for an echocardiogram. It turned out that Jack had noticed a slight drop in the boy's heart rate. The attending doctor said he had noticed the same thing. The heart rate was not changing, but the amplitude was decreasing. But the boy's heart wasn't injured. Why would that be? Jack said it was possible that the broken glass had run down the wound and into the heart. They took Jack to see an echocardiogram. Jack looked at it over and over again.
Again? There.
Looks normal to me.
It's not normal.
The other doctors don't see anything unusual, but Jack was convinced there was something wrong. The attending doctor had to take Jack's advice and operate on the boy's heart. And sure enough, they found a shard of broken glass inside the heart. By this time, the video of Jack's rescue of the boy at the airport had been posted online. Jack proved his mettle to everyone. The director of this hospital. He wanted Jack to work at the hospital, but this was opposed by the board. After all, autistic people have a hard time getting along with others. How do they work together in surgery? This was a real problem. The director approached Jack. When he asked Jack if he would like to join the hospital, Jack told the story of his tragic childhood. The death of his beloved bunny in front of him. His own brother had fallen from a height. He died in front of his eyes, and there was nothing he could do about it.
I couldn't save them. It's sad. Neither one had the chance to become an adult. They should have become adults. They should have had children of their own and love those children. And I want to make that possible for other people.
As a person with autism and as a talented doctor, Jack was accepted into the hospital. The moment he put on his scrubs, Jack knew he was going to cure more patients than ever before. I'm sure that's why all doctors become doctors in the first place.